was expecting to be thrilled, and I'm not thrilled. Hello, my name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the second Summerween vlog. If you missed it, I will have the first vlog linked down below for days 1 and 2, which also includes the fun little music video that me and my sister made. And this vlog is going to consist of days 3 and 4. Last night, I decided to get a start on the next book that I was hoping to read today, and that is Lost Man's Lane by Scott Carson. And this is one that I was hoping to read for the prompt that's like read a book that you've owned for more than a year, because this is one that I got in early 2024 when it first published. And you know it's a good sign when, like, last night I was like, okay, I'll only read the first chapter and see if I'm vibing with it, and I couldn't stop myself. I read 44 pages last night. Like, I'm already so invested. I'm already loving the writing, and I love the way that this book just sucks you right into the story. It is also one that I wanted to get kind of a head start on because this one is like 500 pages, which I actually didn't realize before starting it. It's literally 513 pages. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna do my best to try to finish this one today if I can, because I am really loving it. Just based off those first 40 pages, I'm having such a good time with it. Something that's really great too about this book is that it's taking place in 1999, which you might recall, you know, just a few days ago for the first few days of Summerween, I just read Summer of the Monsters, and this one takes place in 1996. And so the fact that I'm nearly reading 2 books back to back that take place in the 90s, like, there is something so comforting and nostalgic about reading horror that's taking place in the 90s. I'm loving that both of these books have already talked about the Smashing Pumpkins, and like the atmosphere of the 90s is just so good, you know? It was such a simpler time. You know, being as somebody who was born in 95, like, I barely remember the 90s. I was a wee small child, but I just love reading books that take place in the 90s. It's very comforting. So something that I'm loving about this story is that we're following this teen boy named Marshall, and he has this mother who's a single mother, and her name is Monica Miller. And what's really cool about her is that she's a primetime news broadcaster. Like, she does the news, which I think is so cool. Like, I freaking love reading about jobs like that. And the book starts with a really like intense scene right after our main character Marshall, he gets his driver's license and he's driving down the road by himself, and then he gets pulled over by this cop named Maddox, who is like really creepy and really vile, and like instantly is like really aggressive with him. And he notices this girl that's like in the backseat of his police car that's like crying in the back seat, and things just seem a little bit off. Like, things are a little bit weird. Now the story's taking place about like a month after that incident, and he has this female best friend named Carrie, and like it's really cute because he seems like he's really close with both Carrie and her family. And like his best friend Carrie, this girl, she has a new boyfriend named Jake, and there is talk about them of like, were they ever gonna be a thing together? Like, they don't know, like they never wanted to risk their friendship with something more, which I also think is like really sweet and really endearing. And I haven't gotten to this portion of the book yet because I'm only 40 pages in, but in the actual premise of the book, it says there's only one problem: no local cop named Maddox exists. And apparently that teenage girl ends up going missing that was like in the back of the cop's car, and like he's not even a real cop. And so I haven't exactly gotten to that part of the book yet, but I'm like, whoa, what? That sounds crazy. But I am just like loving the writing so far. I've already tabbed so many things that I wanted to come back to. Like, one of the things that I love is the way that this author writes from the perspective of like looking back on the teenage years. I like how he was reflecting on his mother's job and how hard it was for her, because he's saying she didn't get home until after midnight, but she was always up by 6 a.m. to make breakfast before I left for school. It was many years before I realized how little sleep she got in those days. A lot of the most important things occur to you too late. Like, I love that. I love the reflection of like thinking about how you perceived your parents when you were a teenager versus like how you might be a lot more grateful for the little things that your parents did for you once you're an adult yourself. I also love that there's so many moments where like these characters just barely like dodge a bullet or something, and then they ask the question of like, well, what if this hadn't happened? Like, how much worse could it have been for them if they didn't notice this one thing that kind of like saved them in the moment? I don't know, I really do like the writing. It's very like reflective, and there's something so nostalgic about the 90s time period, and I'm just having a lot of fun with this. Like, I'm loving the son and mother relationship that I'm reading about. Like, I think they're so sweet and they're so endearing. And so I was not expecting to already love this as much as I am. Like, that is amazing. I think today, my plan for today is that I want to go out to Bellingham because I really want to get an acai bowl from Robex. Their acai bowls are so good, and like, God, if I could just have one food that I could eat for the rest of my life, it would definitely be an acai bowl. And I think they're perfect to eat in the summertime, especially because today it's gonna get up to 81 degrees. Like, it's already feeling a little bit toasty in here. here. So that's the plan for today. I'm gonna go eat by the water, read more of this book. I'm hoping that I can finish this book today. I would also love to swing by Value Village, which is like my local thrift store, you know, because they just sent out a coupon, and the coupon is one of those coupons that almost seems like too good to be true because it says you save 50% when you spend $50. So like you get $25 off a purchase of $50. That's amazing. So I'm gonna go and check and see if they have any cool books, because sometimes my Value Village really surprises me with the book selection there. But then also like I want to see if they have any really nice like shirts for the summertime. So that's the plan for day 3. Let's hit the road. I wanted to quickly update you because it's now already 2:30 in the afternoon. It's been such a crazy busy day. I was able to get my acai bowl this morning, which was so good. I ended up walking around that little water area for a little bit, and then I also did go to Value Village and I found 2 books and a few different clothes that I was really excited about, and I was able to hit that $50 mark, so I got 50% off everything that I bought at Value Village, which was such a steal. And then I also decided to like swing by the grocery store on the way back home because there was just a few things that I really wanted to pick up, and oh my god, that grocery store was so fucking busy. I don't think I've ever seen that store that busy. Like the self-checkout line was ridiculously long and it took forever. And then I also just went by, there's this little coffee place that I like to go to sometimes, but I ended up going by and picking up a scone. I've actually never tried the scones from there before. Oh my god, this looks so good. Literally look at this scone. Oh my god, she's a beauty. So I'm gonna be eating this scone, but I wanted to update you because I'm now 70% of the way through Lost Man's Lane. I've just been listening to this one on audio all day while I've been doing all of the things, and I'm now about like 360-ish pages into this, and I am still really liking this book. Do I think it's a little bit long at times? Yes. I do think there are some moments that definitely could have been edited down, but I'm still really liking the vibes of this. Like this definitely feels like a summertime book, if that makes sense. I love the 90s nostalgia in this book, and I also love this main character, Marshall, and his relationship with his mother is like really sweet. And some of the visuals in this book with the talk about snakes, oh my god, there's so much talk about snakes in this book, and that's really freaking me out because snakes really scare me. There have also been at least 2 reveals that I was like, oh my god, what? In the plot that I did not see that coming. So I've been really loving that too. And I also love this character, Marshall. He has like the cutest friendship with this girl, Carrie, that like lives across the street. And I love that her dad's name is Jerry, and like they also kind of have this cute bond, you know, because Marshall doesn't have, you know, his father in his life, and he's always been so curious about his father. And so I kind of feel like Jerry kind of steps in as like a father figure for him, and so their relationship is like really sweet. But this whole thing with this cop named Maddox, who's like not actually a cop, and like there was this missing girl that he saw in the back of that cop car, like that whole storyline has been so fascinating, and I feel like it was only like the tip of the iceberg for like what this story is actually about. So that's been pretty fun, but I do feel like this book has been quite the slow burn. Like it's definitely like a slow moving kind of like coming of age horror novel, which I do enjoy from time to time. Like, I really do love reading books like this. It kind of reminds me of like old school Stephen King for some reason, but I don't know why I say that for like almost every male author that I read, especially if it's taking place in a time period like the 80s or the 90s. I'm always like, why does this feel like Stephen King? But anyway, it's going well. I am on the way home now. Oh my god, I'm sweating in my car. I had to turn off my AC to update you and I am just dying in here. It got up to 86 degrees today in my car. It's really toasty today. And you know what's crazy is that it says it's supposed to rain tomorrow. Like, I don't know what's going on with Washington, but anyway, I might show you a little bit of a grocery haul and then I will show you everything that I picked up from Value Village because I got some good stuff. Grocery haul, clearly only got the essentials. We were low on syrup. I am obsessed with these. I go through these bags so fast, like you would not believe. Mango mochi is my absolute favorite. Figured we could do some baking together at some point during Summerween, maybe when Jan's here. Got some bananas. I wanted to try these Jimmy Dean maple griddle cakes because I've never tried these before and I thought they looked delightful. And then a bunch of other random things, the Chobanis, Liquid Death, avocados, all that fun stuff. Okay, I quickly wanted to show you my cute little Value Village haul and show you the 2 books that I ended up getting there. One of them is Billy Summers by Stephen King, and this one was there for only $5.99 for this nice paperback edition. This one looks almost brand new, and this is one that I've been wanting to read for a really long time. It's a Stephen King book that I do not own. And then I also saw, this one is a little bit more of a like risky buy for me, but I saw Babel by R.F. Kuang, and this one was there. It's a nice paperback copy and it was only $7.99, and I just couldn't resist giving this one a shot because after how much I loved Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, it definitely has me more interested in checking out some other stuff by her, but I know that this one's more like historical fiction, almost like fantasy vibes, so this would definitely be something that's a little bit outside of my comfort zone. But dude, when I saw this cover there, like, this is stunning. I love all the gray and the silver. Like, I couldn't pass up on this. And then some of the clothing that I got there is this one. This one's actually an Old Navy shirt, but isn't it so cute? I don't have anything in this color. Like, I don't even know if I really like this color on myself, to be honest. And then I also ended up getting these shorts because I thought these would be cute to like wear to the lake, or like if I have a lake day or like a beach day, I thought these would be perfect to wear for that kind of thing. I also ended up getting this really cute black shirt. This is from that Arizona brand, and I just love having, you know, simple, cute little cropped black t-shirts like this. Like, I love that so much. I also ended up getting this blue t-shirt. This one's slightly cropped as well. Isn't it so cute? And I really love the sleeves on this one. They're kind of like curled in and they're stitched in. I got that one. I also got this shirt. I love a simple white shirt, and this one just says Gucci on it, and I was like, I could sleep in this shirt. It's so soft. And then the last thing that I saw is this hoodie, and this one is a North Face hoodie, so on the sleeve it says the North Face, and then it's slightly cropped. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but it is a slightly cropped hoodie, which I love, and I don't have enough slightly cropped hoodies like this. And it just has the North Face logo stitched onto this one, because I know North Face is like one of the highest quality brands, especially in Washington State. I feel like North Face is very popular here. But anyway, I think I'm going to get a load of laundry started so that I can wash all of these clothes, because, you know, when you go thrift shopping, you gotta wash the clothes before you wear them. I might try them on first just to make sure everything fits okay before I throw them in the washer. My only plan for this afternoon is that I need to finish reading Lost Man's Lane. I have about 4 hours of the audiobook left. I'm 74% of the way through. Dude, I love this. So cute, so cozy. Perfect, it fits perfect. It's now about 5:30 at night, but I wanted to update you because I've finished reading Lost Man's Lane by Scott Carson, and I'm so glad to let you know that for the most part, I really did enjoy this book. I know that there could be like a lot of people reading this and probably saying that the book is really boring and that like not a lot of things really happen, and I do think that those reviews would be valid because this is quite the slow burn. I feel like there's not a lot of plot happening in this book throughout it, which sounds really weird to say because it's like, how is a book 500 pages long and there's not that much plot, but I feel like this is one of those really like character driven stories, you know, like this is definitely one of those like coming of age kind of stories that I was just really in the mood for apparently. I do think I would recommend listening to this one on audio as opposed to like trying to read it physically, because I could see how trying to read this book physically, it probably gets a little bit slow and like meandering and like just a little bit boring. Like I could see how you would say that, but there was something so comforting about listening to this on audio today. It just made me so nostalgic for like that time period of like the late 90s. I will admit that there was some things happening towards the end of this book in terms of like the supernatural or like the horror elements of this book that didn't really interest me the most. Like it wasn't my favorite thing, but I think the writing in this book was just so beautifully done. You know, like I was saying earlier today, I feel like this book does a really great job with like the feeling in all of the writing and like the reflective way that we think about our youth. While I was reading this book, I kept thinking about how much I miss those summers when I was a teenager and how carefree those summers were when you were in high school and you were just a teenager and like nothing felt too serious yet. It just really made me nostalgic for that time. And because this one takes place in 1999, I loved all the talk about, you know, when he's on the computer, he's using AIM to chat with people online. And like that was also a throwback. Like that was a little bit before my time, but I still loved having that throwback. And it was so funny because every time he would say AIM on the audiobook, my initial thought was that he was talking about AI, and then I was like, what? And then I was like, oh no, it's AIM. I was looking on Goodreads and there are a lot of other reviewers who are saying that this reads like Stephen King, so I'm glad that it's not just me who picked up on that. I do think this has that like nostalgia quality to it that I tend to experience with a lot of Stephen King's books. And I also noticed that he did blurb, you know, like the very front cover, so I don't think it's that far-fetched to say this kind of feels like it was Stephen King inspired. So ratings wise, I want to give this one a 4 out of 5 stars, but if I'm getting like very technical, it's probably closer to like a 3.75 out of 5 stars. I think if the ending was like a little bit more satisfying, or if it even made me like emotional in the end of this book, I think I would have felt more comfortable giving it that full 4-star. There was something missing from this to make it like a true 4-star for me. Sorry, I'm being so annoying about the ratings, but I really did enjoy this for the most part. Like I think a 3.75 is a really great rating. I do think if you're craving something that like takes place in the 90s in the summertime and kind of feels like Stephen King, and you want something that's a little bit more coming of age, I would highly recommend this book, like especially if you're looking for those specific things. And I'm really glad because with this book, I am checking off another prompt, which is to read a book that I've owned for more than a year. So I have been making my way through all of the Summerween prompts. I think I'm going to go pick up dinner. I was gonna make dinner, but like I've made dinner at the house the last 2 nights, and because it's so hot outside, like I'm just not in the mood to cook. So I think I'm gonna go and pick up tacos from Taco Time. What does that say? What does that say? The compound. I actually don't lose one way. I'm just like once it's in the Summerween early. It is only officially starting tomorrow on the 5th. But I'm starting it early because of It's almost 8 o'clock at night and I just had the brilliant idea. I was like, oh my god, why don't I just like read in the backyard? Because we actually have like a really nice backyard space out here where there's lots of grass. And so I got my blanket from out of my trunk of my car and I just laid it out here. Even though it's a little bit warm, it's starting to cool down. It's only about 78 degrees right now. But I've been doing some reading on my Kindle tonight because I just got the ebook checked out from my library called Morbidly Yours. And this is one that I was thinking it could be fun to read during Summerween because yes, this one is a romance book, but it kind of sounds like it would fit the mood of Summerween. But I wanted to update you because I'm about 60 pages into this romance book and I think I'm probably going to DNF it. Like, I don't think this is the romance book for me, mostly because I'm finding the main character, her name is Lark, and I'm finding her to be so annoying. I mean, the reason why I was excited to read this one potentially is because it takes place in Ireland and it also has the marriage of convenience trope because this guy, in order to like get his inheritance, he like has to be married in the next like 9 months or something. So I do love the like fake marriage kind of trope thing. Like I usually do like that. But I feel like these two characters in particular, like this girl Lark, she's actually from Texas. And then this guy Callum that we're following, he is from Ireland. His job involves a lot of like dead bodies, which is why I think this book is called Morbidly Yours. Like he is a little bit too boring and a little bit too awkward. And then she is just a little bit too obnoxious. Like I'm not really vibing with her character either. And I don't feel as bad about DNFing this one because I know like reading a romance book is not exactly the vibes for Summerween, but I've just been in such a romance mood lately in these like last couple of weeks that I'm just like looking for any reason to read a romance book. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start editing this vlog in my room because I do need to get a head start on editing this. Maybe I'll try to read that Junji Ito manga that I have. I think it's called Deserter. I'll try to read that one in the dark tonight. Welcome to day 4 of Summerween. Sorry I didn't update you sooner because it's about noon already. And this morning I had a great start to my morning because I ended up going to the gym first thing in the morning. I got breakfast from Cruise and Coffee and I've started reading the new Riley Sager. So last night, if you were wondering, no, I did not end up reading anything more last night. I was actually just so tired last night. I mean, it makes sense, you know, because I finished reading a 500-page book yesterday and then I also DNF'd a romance book after getting like 50 pages in. So like I read quite a bit yesterday. And then last night I ended up watching the movie The Gorge with my mom because my mom had started it but she never finished the movie, so we finished watching it together. I don't know if my mom really liked this movie, to be honest. She said it was a little bit too scary for her, which is definitely fair. It is a little bit of a scary movie. I mean, it's like a horror romance movie. I freaking love this movie so much. I don't know what it is about it. I just really enjoy the romance in this movie. I feel like Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy, like they have so much chemistry and it's so cute. But anyway, I thought I would let you know that this morning I've started reading With Vengeance by Riley Sager. I am currently listening to this one on audio as well using my Spotify because I haven't used my Spotify hours for this month yet, and I got up to chapter 9. I'm about 68 pages in and so far this has been incredibly slow. I'm not gonna lie, it's been really slow so far because all we know about the story at this point is that we're following this main character named Anna and it's taking place in 1954 and the whole story is taking place on this train, and Anna has basically invited these 6 different people to come to this train because she wants to get her revenge. And so I feel like the first like 50-ish pages have been exceptionally slow because every chapter is just introducing us to the 6 different passengers and each one of their chapters just kind of reads exactly the same to me because they'll be talking about like, why did I get this strange invitation that feels like blackmail, and like this must be about what happened 12 years ago. Every single chapter of theirs read exactly the same, and then we finally get to 8 p.m. which is after you're about 50 pages in, and then that's when they all start like interacting with each other. So like the first 50 pages of the book is literally just introducing you to all of these passengers on the train, and then I also feel like once we get past the introductions of all the characters, it's like they all start interacting and Anna starts saying like, you did this and you did that and everybody did this and this is why you're gonna pay, and she starts like revealing almost like all of her plans almost like immediately. Is this whole story going to take place on this train ride? Because I think it is. I think the whole book is going to take place on the train ride. But so far I'm not loving it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was a little bit worried about this one because I don't tend to love like historical fiction kind of thrillers, and especially ones that are said to be inspired by Agatha Christie. I feel like sometimes they tend to bore me because it feels like something I've read before, and I'm definitely getting that feeling with this book so far, but like I'm not gonna judge it too harshly yet. I'm gonna give it a real shot. And so today is probably going to be a very like uneventful day in terms of like the vlog because today I'm just gonna be listening to this one on audio. I'm taking really good notes on this one because it's actually my booktube book club pick for the month of July. I'll be taking good notes on it, and I'm also gonna be cleaning because I really need to do a good job of like cleaning today because my friend Jan is gonna be flying in to visit me literally tomorrow morning. So I'm like, holy shit, I need to get this place in like tip-top shape. Luckily my mom has been helping me already so much with like getting this place really nice and clean for Jan because she's gonna be staying in the guest room. Like my mom has already like gotten the guest room all perfect and ready for her. I just need to do a good job of like making sure that like the trash is taken out and like the bathroom is clean and like everything around here needs to be clean. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of cleaning today and listening to this one. Also, it was the cutest thing. My dad just came up to me and he's like, hey, I just bought you something. And I was like, what? And he hands me this little G thing that he says this is like a bookmark, and it's like a little magnetic bookmark. Like it opens like this and then it's a magnet and then it has this little like holder for like a pen or a highlighter. And I was like, oh my god, this is so cute. Like, where did you get this? And he's like, I ordered it online and I saw it and I thought of you and so I just wanted to get it for you. And I was like, what the heck? Like, Dad, that's so cute. Isn't that so adorable? I love the G. So yeah, that's an adorable update about my dad. Like, how cute is that? Hello, it is now just after 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I've been doing so much cleaning and I got everything done that I needed to get done, so I've been feeling very productive. And I've also been reading with a vengeance. According to the audiobook, I'm 62% of the way through and I just hit page 232. And you know, I wish I had a better update for you at this point. Like, I wish that I could come on here and say that like, oh my god, I'm loving it and it's gotten so interesting. Unfortunately, that's not really the case with this. I mean, I was correct with the assumption that most of this book would be taking place on the train, and this definitely does have that Agatha Christie, you know, kind of vibe where like people are getting picked off one by one and they don't know what's going on. So like it definitely has those elements, but I still can't help but feel very bored by the story. I mean, in a way, you know, it's like I do feel bad for this main character Anna and like what she's doing all of this for, you know, because like her family got like brutally killed and like taken from her, and she believes that these 6 people are the ones responsible for like the downfall of her family. But I can't help but feel like this feels so similar to every other Agatha Christie kind of book that I've ever read. I mean, yes, the setting of the train is pretty fun. Like, I do like the train setting, but I don't love that it's taking place in like the 1940s, 1950s time period, because they keep talking about the war that happened in the 1940s, like World War II. And most of the time, I just get really bored by any fiction that talks a lot about World War II because it's just not something that I'm really interested in reading about. There also is like, not that there's a romance happening, but there is something happening between Anna and this guy that like used to be one of her lovers. And I just could not care less about whatever is happening between those two. We keep getting like flashbacks of like things that happened with them when they were younger, and like I just don't care about that. There was one thing that was like revealed in the plot that was kind of like a plot twisty moment that I was like, oh wait, what? Like, if that ends up happening, then I will be very curious to see how that pans out. I did end up writing down one of my predictions for like what I think is going on, and I really hope that I'm wrong because I would be so upset if I was easily able to predict like what's actually happening in this story right now. I don't know, like there have been a few moments where I'm kind of like, oh, that's like a fun thing to happen, or like, oh, that's kind of interesting, but for the most part, I'm just feeling so meh about this book. So I'm not living, laughing, loving in the way that I thought I could. I've heard from so many people though that the second half of this book is a lot better than the first half. So now that I'm starting to get to the second half of this book, like, oh my gosh, I hope that that's true. I really need a win here. I hope the rest of the book is good and thrilling, because where are the thrills? I was expecting to be thrilled and I'm not thrilled. So yeah, because I've been cleaning all afternoon, I'm pretty exhausted. I think I'm just gonna lay here in bed and try to finish the rest of this book. I do have a few other things that I need to get done this afternoon. I mean, one of the things is that I need to paint my nails because all of my white nail polish just chipped off. I also do need to update my planner, like my Hobonichi planner. I haven't written in it in a couple days, so like I need to go update my planner. It's now like 5:30 at night. I'm sorry if you can hear. There are kids playing basketball right outside of my window. But anyway, so many things have happened. I straightened my hair, I did paint my nails black, and I have finished reading With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. I made this spinach tortellini from Trader Joe's because I've been wanting to make that for a while. I've been wanting to try it and it was good. I think I didn't use like a really good sauce though. Like I think if I had a better sauce, I would like it more because I thought it just turned out okay. So the rest of With a Vengeance, you know, if I was gonna rate this book just based off those first like 220 pages during the last time that I updated you, I probably would have given this 2 stars. But there were a lot of things at the end of this book that did surprise me. I mean, I'm really glad that my prediction for like what I thought was happening, it was wrong. Sorry, the children are screaming and it's really annoying. So I'm glad that I was at least wrong with what I was predicting to be happening. I also thought there was at least 2 or 3 reveals at the end of this book that I was like, wait, what? Like I did not see that coming. So I love that there were still a few things about this that surprised me. I think my issue with this book was the fact that I didn't care about any of the characters or about what was happening to them. I never felt like the stakes were very high because I didn't care about any of them. And I feel like that's the biggest issue with me with this one, and that's where the disconnect is. And I think that's for a lot of reasons, but I don't think these characters were like particularly well fleshed out. I did like the train setting though, and I do think it's kind of funny how like this book had such a strong winter atmosphere. There's so much talk about blizzards and like snowiness, and I'm like sitting here reading this during Summerween. Like probably should have saved this one for Winterween in hindsight. I mean, there's no indication of like snowiness on the cover at all. God, I just realized that the blurb at the top of this book is from Frida McFadden. Like what? That explains a lot. But I feel like because I was really surprised by a few things happening at the end of this book, I feel like it made me want to raise my rating to maybe like 2.5 to like 3 stars. I think I'm settling somewhere in between that rating because I did actually really like the way that this book wrapped up, and I really liked the final chapter of this book. Like I really liked the ending. Like the last 100 pages of this book were very entertaining, and I could definitely see the hype for like why this one might be working for a lot of people. I just don't think that this is my kind of book. And I think I knew that going into this just because this one is like a historical thriller that's like Agatha Christie vibes. I feel like this feels like a lot of other thrillers that I've read. It actually reminded me a lot of that book You Are Fatally Invited, which I just read earlier this year, and I really liked that one a lot more than this one. I feel like the only time that I've ever enjoyed a book really that's like compared to Agatha Christie is Daisy Darker. I do think though leading up to the ending of this book, oh my god, some things were getting so convoluted that I was like, seriously dude? Like the amount of times that I had to like suspend my disbelief about something, I was like, really? But then the actual conclusion of the story I did really like. So I don't know, I have a lot of mixed thoughts about this one. I'm actually really curious though to discuss this book with the book club because I do see a lot of people either loving it or hating it. I'm really curious too to see how my mom and my sister end up feeling about it. I know Rachel's currently reading it right now, but she's only on like chapter 3. She's very early. And then my mom, I just sent my mom the audiobook, and my mom has never listened to an audiobook before, but she's gonna try listening to the audiobook for this one, so that should be fun for her. So yeah, that is a wrap on day 4 of Summerween. I know it's a little bit early in the night right now for me to wrap up this day, but I need to get this vlog edited. Oh my gosh, like this vlog is going up tomorrow morning, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've barely even started editing. And I'm really looking forward to the next Summerween vlog because for these next 4 days, my friend Jan over from Jan Agaton, she's gonna be visiting me in person. She's flying into Seattle tomorrow. So like, I am just so looking forward to these next couple of days of my next Summerween vlog, which will be going up on the 13th. That one should be a really fun and really special vlog because it's all gonna be like these days that Jan is here visiting me, and we're planning on doing a lot of reading together and like going book shopping together, visiting coffee shops, and like doing all of the things. So it should be a really great rest of the readathon. If we're keeping up on prompts, by the way, I don't know if With a Vengeance is gonna count towards any prompts really besides reading a thriller or horror book, or maybe reading a book with the sky on the cover. I think this one could count for that. But I've already accomplished those prompts, so like the only prompts I have left for Summerween that I haven't done yet is to read a novella, manga, or graphic novel, and to read in the dark. I still haven't done that either. But I do still have plans to read this Junji Ito Deserter, and this one, hopefully if I can read this book in the dark, then that would accomplish both of the prompts at the same time. So that's my current plan. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know how Summerween is going for you so far, and I will see you later this week with my final Summerween vlog. Thanks for watching. Bye!